What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 16th day of October. Here we are sitting at about $2.40 now. We got about 9 hours and 26 minutes left in the day. Down a little bit, down like 5% this week here, but we are at areas of relative significance, right? Prior resistance here, support there. I think we are holding up well, dealing with the aftermath from the 10th here. We're just range bound. I think a lot of cryptos are shaken up from that event, and Bitcoin's moving down a little bit today too. So I think things are a little shaken up from that as well. But I don't expect anything too crazy to happen. I would love it. I would actually really love it if on the 11th here, this was our low. I would love it if we went a little bit below there, because then that would freak people out. We'd get some real capitulation. The bears would be so loud. Oh my god! And then that would likely be the low point. We'd be done with this area at least, right? Maybe we're still range bound, but we'd be done with these like $2.40 to $2.20 areas here, and we'd be looking more for that $3 target and beyond, right? I very much do believe that we are at the base of this overall consolidation phase here. We have broken out of this little base here. We've set up a new base, but overall, it's kind of like you've just got lower lows. Let's look at this here. Why is it not letting me? Come on, there we go. It's kind of like you just got lower lows, right? You're just hitting this, a little bit of a blemish here, a little bit of a blemish there, but it's almost as if you're just in a downward sloping channel and you're at the base of that range now. So I would think that we do find support soon and move up pretty soon as well. Looking at the short-term stuff, looking at the 1 hour time frame here, and I actually want to put this on, let's put it on Coinbase where we have a little bit of volume here. I mean, just massive, absolutely massive dump. You can tell the big dogs were loading up the truck with XRP at that level, man. They had some skunk orders put in place there. Looking at $2.40 now, the RSI does look weak, right? It does look weak. What makes it look weak? Let's go over that real quick. Okay, first and foremost, you're finding resistance at the 60. If you can't get above the 60, that's normally not a good thing. Okay, so you want to get above the 60. Can't get above the 60, not a good thing. Living below the 50, right? You got above the 50, but your time spent above there is very short-lived. You're living below the 50, not a good thing. Getting oversold, not getting overbought, that's kind of the same thing as not getting above the 60. Not a good thing, right? Um, you found resistance. I guess you haven't found resistance to this area. You did back here. You still got overbought, to be fair. And maybe you do. Maybe you do get overbought. But at the moment, all we have to go off of from a bullish kind of perspective is the higher lows. We are at the 40 right now. It's actually very common to range between the 60 and the 40, so maybe we are at a point to bounce here, but it's very possible that we go back down and we do get oversold again. If we do get oversold, we should expect lower prices to come. Volume's picking up a little bit as we're moving down. The last time that we had volume pick up a little bit back here, that did promote lower prices as the hours went on. Was it a straight shot down? No. There's volatility hour to hour, even some green candles in there, but we still worked our way lower. So I really wouldn't be surprised if we did go below 235. How much lower than that? We'll see if we can figure that out by the end of this video. Stochastics do look bearish, right? Pointed downwards out of the overbought zone, coming down, you typically go to the oversold zone. And the MACD overall is bearish as well. You're building bullish momentum here, but you're not really doing anything with it, right? It's pretty pathetic price action. You even technically do have on the histogram right here. Come on now, let's see if I can get it right on there. Shave it appropriately. Hold on, right there. You do even have a slightly higher reading on the histogram than you did back here, right? That's a higher high, and yet you have in that same kind of area of the histogram back here, you have a lower high in the price. That's hidden bearish divergence. That tends to promote continuation to the downside. So that's what I would think is going on here. All of these looking sad, right? The RSI is the only one that's kind of at an area to bounce, and maybe you do, maybe you do. 22 minutes left, we'll see. But I'm not holding my breath over that 4 hour time frame. I think if we look at it like this, kind of looking at it in this light here, you had a nice bounce here. You had a decent bounce here. This bounce is even weaker than any of these other bounces. I think we really are just kind of grinding out this low end, and we're looking like we want to break down. But again, remember, like I said in the very beginning of the video, we are at the low end, right? We're at the low end of this overall kind of channel. So when I talk about breaking down, it's nothing catastrophic. It's nothing abysmal, right? We probably do hold above $2. I'd very much anticipate that, but wouldn't it be great if we took out these lows back here? I think it would be fantastic. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if XRP does get below $2.31, it's going to be a steal. It won't be there for long. It'll make a quick stab, and then it'll come back up. So if you have your buy orders ready, I mean, you should get in at a very good point of strength. That's always something to be desired there. Looking at this 4-hour time frame, the RSI does look weak. I hope it's obvious as to why. Let's go over why it's weak. Okay, so first and foremost, downtrend here. You have broken out of it. That's nice. That's a really positive thing. And you didn't do anything with your positive thing, did you? You didn't do any. All you did was you found resistance here at prior areas of support, right? All you did was come down. You formed a lower high. You came down. Now you're grinding out this area. All you did after you broke out of your downtrend here was form another downtrend here. That's all you did. So I hope it's obvious as to why it's weak. Again, not living above the 50, rejecting the 60, getting oversold, not getting overbought, all these things, looking like you do want to get to the oversold zone again. Now, do you get right there? Do you bounce right off of it? I don't know, maybe, but that would still imply lower prices. Do you get into it? I don't know, maybe, but that would imply lower prices. Again, if we do get to these areas, to the oversold zone or in the oversold zone, let alone, I would very much anticipate that we do see prices below $2.31. I think that's what's on the horizon here. The stochastics look bearish, rejecting the not rejecting the overbought zone. I'm sorry, rejecting the 50 level after being oversold. It's pretty bearish behavior typically. The MACD here building some bullish momentum at the moment, but I do think that this is a bearish look overall. I mean, you're below the zero. You had some bullish momentum. This is what you did with it, right? When you had bearish momentum, that's what you did with it. You did a lot more damage to the downside than you did to the upside. I really would expect that we go lower. And the fact that it's crossing green right now, I wouldn't weigh on that too much. Sometimes you get these little like false crosses, and these are actually points of strength for the move up, or in this case, points of strength for the move down, right? It's like a point where these oscillators touch, and then they continue to move lower. Although actually you're actually at a green point. Still, I would think that you do move lower based off of this. Look at that, and you're moving higher as I'm talking about. I mean, you could find support here. Let's not be mistaken. There are more shorts than longs at these levels right now for Bitcoin on all time frames, for XRP on all time frames as well. You could find support here. It's definitely not a good area to sell. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. It's definitely not a great area to sell. But even if we move up from here, even if we move up to like 255, I'm not amused, right? Amuse me, prove me wrong. That's what I really want to see. I want to see you prove me wrong, because if you prove me wrong, that means we're moving up higher. Let's just try and get this appropriately on there. There we go. I don't know if this is the right fib range to use. I don't trust the scam wick. Let's put it on the 1 hour and see if there's any. Yeah, maybe this low here. Maybe that low there. I don't know. I think that that's fine. Prove me wrong. The fibs aren't going to help us, so we're just going to delete them. Get a 4-hour time frame to close above here. Really, I'd like to see it even a little bit higher. Close a 4-hour time frame above 257. If you move up from here to 257 and you come back down, that's not the same, right? I need you to close above $2.57 on a 4-hour time frame or greater. If you do that, then I'm wrong. Until then, the downside remains open as a possibility. Okay, so prove me wrong. I'd love to see it happen, because then if XRP is moving up, you got to assume the rest of the market's moving up too, right? Daily time frame here. RSI, it looks all right. The RSI, I mean, on the daily, it definitely looks sad, right? You're oversold, but it doesn't look bad right here. Come down a little bit more. Get that data close just below here. Get that bullish divergence going on. That would look good. Same thing with the MACD. You'd have that bullish divergence going on. Stochastics are neutral. If anything, I guess they look like they want to come down a little bit. MACD's bearish and the RSI's bearish. So we're going to lean with the idea that we do go down. Again, prove me wrong. Get above $2.57 on a 4-hour closing time. Is it 57 cents? Yeah, $2.57 on a 4-hour closing time frame. At that point, we can start to think about moving higher. When we do move higher, not if, but when we do move higher, we should be seeing targets rapidly approach 274, $3 and beyond. Once we're back above like $3.10, that's when we can start talking about new all-time highs again. Again, this idea of a perspective shift, right? Down here, XRP's trash. It's something that everybody should avoid. Nobody should invest in it. But once we're up here, oh my God, XRP is going to the moon. You're all dumb for not buying down here. Sell your house, sell your farm, put it all in XRP. We're about to go to the moon, right? So that perspective shift is really just about like not even $1 away. About at this point in time, I guess it's about like 70 cents away. Once we get back above like $3.10, getting above this golden ratio, breaking clearly the downward sloping trend line here that we have, I think that'll really shift the perspective in the markets for XRP. And what's good for XRP is good for you and me, man. It's good for the rest of the markets too. If we're looking at this, I'd very much anticipate, and maybe not on Coinbase because they don't have the all-time history, because they delisted it high to low. They didn't. They delisted it back when the SEC sued them, right? That when they had their lawsuit, they relisted them. Obviously, you can buy XRP on Coinbase again. High to low here. The expectation is that we see XRP achieve prices all the way up at a $13.57 price or higher. We made a lot of sense out of this zone. It was laughable to consider really anything that was below $10, right? That's the analysis that we did yesterday. We went in depth. We compared the price of XRP to BTC, and we concluded that it really doesn't make sense to consider anything that's below $10 as a price target at all. So once we break out of this, the only targets that are above here, above this laughable zone, is the 1414 and beyond. So it truly does make sense that by the end of the year, we're going to see a $14 price or higher for XRP. Anybody, I'm not saying that anybody calling for less is silly, but anybody calling for a price target that's like less than $9.50, because I'm pretty sure that was the price. Maybe it was $10, I forget. If you're calling for less than that as the next destination, I don't care what your time frame is. Maybe it's next year, maybe it's 2 weeks from now, whatever it is. I don't care what your time frame is. But if your next destination is anywhere less than $10, really, you should rethink it because you're probably not thinking clearly. You're afraid to accept what this thing has to offer, right? Sometimes whenever the price targets are higher, people are like, I just don't see that happening. But just because you don't see it happening doesn't mean that it can't happen, right? Open your mind a little bit. Don't fit it into this cookie cutter stuff. We didn't do that yesterday. We weren't getting cookie cutter at all. We were just looking at the data raw, making sense out of it using logic, and it points to the exact areas that we've been talking about for months now, which is this price and beyond, right? Let alone the all-time highs. Anyways, I don't have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said it all. And I was reading this. I thought this was funny. This is kind of just BS, but I think this is funny, right? They're like, what are the biggest challenges for stablecoins becoming truly global money? What are they, guys? Do you know? Well, we've got 5 right here. 5 priorities that it comes down to. Acknowledge and build on real-world use cases. Interoperability is key. Achieve global regulatory consistency. Focus on reliability and predictability and alignment on common technical standards. It's all BS. It's just butt wiping right there. What is the biggest challenge that's keeping stablecoins from becoming truly global money? Do you guys know what it is? It's just one thing. It's not a trick question. It's acceptance, right? If you could spend it at a store, if you could spend it anywhere, if you could buy plane tickets with it, or hotels, or food, gas, that's what's key. It's acceptance, right? It's just BS. It's a nice little article. Someone spent time writing that, but it's just BS. And I mean, yes, we need all this stuff maybe to get to acceptance, but acceptance, that's the one thing that we need, right? Once it's accepted, then once it's used, that's what's keeping it from being truly global money. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I don't know what the purpose of that was. I just thought it was funny because I'm reading it. I'm like, yeah, or acceptance. I just thought it was funny. Anyways, shout out to the Ripple team. You guys are doing great. Spreading into Africa and Europe, making it trying to achieve that global status. I think that's important, right? A lot of projects need to focus on that. I don't know. Is it more important to focus on your roots where you are, or is it more important to spread your feelers out there and see what sticks in various places? I mean, and then build from there. It's kind of interesting to see how some of these coins are doing things. Like Telcoin is building its roots in Nebraska. They're not really branching out to other, and I think HBAR and XLM, they're definitely spreading to other parts of the world as well. Europe, South America, stuff like that. I think South America is a good one, but I don't know. We'll see which one takes off, which one does the best. I'm just rambling at this point, guys, so I'm going to end the video there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.